Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Chicago White Sox March to October, and we're just jumping right into it again. After this game's over and a few more games get simmed, we'll be like right at the halfway point in the season. So we'll go ahead, take care of business here against the Orioles, and then take a look at how the season's unfolding so far, because I don't really think we've done much looking around at the league in terms of like standings and league leaders and stuff like that. So that's what's in store for this episode, but first, we got to get out of a little bit of a jam here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and it looks like I can't even take Taylor Rogers out because he just got brought into the game. That should do it. Let's just get it there, Trey. There we go. Nice, easy grounder, and now the rest of this thing should be easy because we have a 3-run lead. If real life is anything to go by, you don't bring Kendall Graveman in against the Orioles with a 3-run lead in the 9th. So I never looked, but we have a pretty big game from a lot of our guys here. Luis Robert with 2 more home runs. We'll talk about him after this game's over, but he's insane. Grandal and Pollock both have a homer. Vaughn with a triple, his 2nd of the year. Actually, wait, who was pitching? I didn't look at that. You had Lynn pitching. He gave up all 3 runs today, but that's still not bad. That's a good start. Johnny Lasagna gave us a couple innings, but it looks like he was the one that got into the jam. But no damage was done. And I just missed that one, so that's not going anywhere. But you know, this reminds me, and I've said it before, but I want to say it again so that people, maybe other people can relate. I don't know how many of you guys play much Diamond Dynasty that watch these videos, but I was playing some ranked seasons the other day trying to hit World Series before the season ended, and I had to play a game on Legend difficulty. And I don't understand. I know that like in this March to October, you're not facing like a 99 overall Randy Johnson every time. You're facing guys like Paul Fry, but it's still Legend difficulty, and I still hit pretty well for the most part. But like, I played a game of ranked seasons on Legend, and I got 1 hit. 1 hit the whole time. Struck out like 14 or 15 times. There's just such a disconnect between playing offline on Legend and playing online. Got under that one too. It's like I didn't even move the PCI that time. That's bad. Eloy, there we go. Not gonna go down 1-2-3 here in this inning. Get a chance at some insurance here, and Eloy doesn't go 0 in this one. Moncada, that's perfect. That's gonna drive in the run. Some insurance, no longer a safe spot. Moncada, why is he so good? Why can't he do this in real life? This is the kind of player he was supposed to be. But he also saves himself from going 0, so back-to-back first hits. Turner, I missed that. But we get 1 more, add to our lead just that much more, make it even more safe. So we'll give Bummer the chance to get some more work in here. The CPU doesn't give him many chances, so I feel like whenever I can, I should. Alright, we can run that one down. Yeah, there we go, easy. Pop up to... Why? Okay. I didn't even notice this. Why did they flip-flop TA and Trey Turner again? Like, they're both playing. Just keep them in their primary spots that I set. And a grounder, Bummer. We gonna get this? No, we're not. Of course we're not. There we go. There we go. The 1 hit was a fluke. Bummer had a clean inning as far as I'm concerned. Alright, just the 1 fireball. I guess that's fair enough with such a big lead. I don't know, I guess I was kind of hoping that since I scored an extra run, maybe we'd get 2, but whatever. It was a game we were meant to win anyway. So what are we going to look like here? I forgot that the momentum was kind of small there, so hopefully a relatively quick turnaround. But I think we were on game 76 there, so... you know, 5 or so games simmed, and we should be right at the halfway point. And, oh my god, finally. Oh my god, finally. We've been waiting for this one all year. Finally, we get to bring Christian Javier up in place of Joe Kelly. I don't know, after the trade for Johnny Lasagna, I guess there was part of me at this point that would have rather be bringing up Luzardo after he automatically got sent down. He wasn't the one I'd want to get sent down. He was doing really good. But I've been wanting Christian Javier back up in the bigs all year. I didn't get the chance to pick him over Joe Kelly, so now I finally can. Finally, we get to bring him up. And it does say, perform well to earn an attribute increase. Now, I've never had a player lock or any sort of attribute increase with a reliever, so I don't know if that'll happen here. But even if it doesn't, 75 overall Christian Javier is plenty good enough for me. And yeah, we'll go ahead and send down Joe Kelly. We're really not losing anything. I mean, the game barely uses him as it is. So yeah, we'll go ahead and make this move. Joe Kelly sent down for Christian Javier to be sent up. And there we go. That looks better. All right, so what is this situation? It's not a player lock with Javier. So I doubt we're going to have a chance to get any sort of attribute upgrades with him or anything. So we stopped simming one game short of being exactly at the halfway point. So let's go ahead and take a look. Hopefully a quick look, but knowing me, it won't be. But a quick look at how things are going so far this year. So in our division, we're 10 games up now. We still haven't let go of that lead since taking over a couple episodes ago. 56-24, 700 winning percentage right on the dot. We got 2 other winning teams in the division, and then the Twins are they're worse than we are good. Over in the East, you got the Jays, and we've actually taken over the best record from them. So that's good to see. The Rays are also having a pretty good year, hanging right with the Jays. Red Sox winning record, and the Yankees and Orioles. Yankees, dude, they're so bad. Over to the West, this one's more close. So you got the Mariners in first, actually. Astros close behind. Angels right at 500. Then a couple teams well below. How about the East of the National League? Another pretty close division here, actually. You got 4 guys in contention, 4 teams. Marlins in first right now with the 9th ranked team. That's fun. The Braves have the 4th ranked team, but they're 4th in the division. Then you got the NL Central. The only winning team is the Brewers, and they're 10.5 up right now. 7th ranked, so they're a pretty solid team. But the Cardinals, man, they're ranked 6th. So they're definitely underperforming. And then finally the West, another close division, man. So the Padres barely out in front. I'd say everyone's in contention. Everyone has a winning record. This whole division, that's actually crazy. I wonder if that's ever happened. I'm confident that it's never happened by the end of the year. But I wonder if at the halfway point in the year, there's ever been a division where all 5 teams have a winning record. So there's only 3 50-win teams so far in the year, and we're one of them. All right, so how about our guys specifically here? I've wanted to talk about player progression / regression for a bit, but I keep just like cutting it out of the episode because I take too long. But Turner's regressing. I'm not liking that. He's having a good year, so I don't really know what's causing the regression. But I guess as long as he plays well, that's all that really matters. I just don't like to see those numbers going down. Tim Anderson, he's progressing nicely. It's just the power's going down. But you always like to see the fielding upgrade. He's batting over 300 like usual. The power, like I said, is not quite as there as it was last year. But he's hitting for a higher average, getting on base more. So we'll take it, especially with how many big hitters we have in this lineup. And speaking of big hitters, Luis Robert. I don't know why he's regressing so much in contact versus lefties, but everything else is going up across the board. And look at the season that this man is having. 341 average with a 410 on base, OPS over 1,000, 17 homers. He's already driven in almost as many runs as he did in the entirety of last season. And it's crazy to think that when we had our player lock with him, he was struggling so much. Like, he was batting 200, not much power going on, and the fact that our player lock boost has affected him this much is crazy. But I did find something that was weird, and I don't really understand it. So they have this little panel here dedicated to player boosts, and you can toggle it by pressing square, and when I toggle to look through everybody, it's only Eloy and Yoelki. So for some reason, Luis Roberts' boost is gone. I don't really know why. Maybe he used it all up and that's why he's so good, but that's never happened before. But anyway, let's move on to Eloy, our other player boost guy. His power is going up. He's having a year. 26 bombs already. He's gonna hit like 40 or 50. Even the average is up over 300. On base is way up from the year before. He's already almost walked as many times too as last year. And then it doesn't cool down yet because Miguel Sano comes next in the order. Not only is he having a great year, but he's progressing like a lot. +4 in every hitting category that can go up at this point, besides the power against righties, because it literally can't get any better. But dude, this is Miguel Sano, and he's hitting over 300, with an on base over 400. Striking out, he's on pace to barely strike out over 100 times this season. He's hitting for plenty of power. I mean, his OPS is over 1,000. I can't believe this. He was like our most low-key signing of the offseason, and he's turned out to be like the biggest one. Then Grandal, he's still regressing. The age is hitting him, but he's still having a fine year. A lot of power still, so that's why the power hasn't gone down. Still drawing a lot of walks. The on base is like 100 points higher than the average. Don't know why he's trying to steal 4 times. But yeah, just seeing the regression. It's probably his last year with us. I'm probably not going to go out of my way to re-sign him if he's going to, be -6s across the board by the end of the year. Then you got Vaughn. He's really progressing, especially in the power and discipline. Again, you always like to see the fielding go up. And he's having a pretty good year. Maybe you could make the argument not quite as good as the last season, but that's really only in the batting average department. The on-base is even slightly better. The slugging is the same. So there's not really much to report on him except that he's progressing, and now he's an 80. Then you got Sheets, and man, I am happy with the season Sheets is putting together. It started out slow again, but he's heating up. And the real big thing is look at the walk numbers and the strikeout numbers. He's walking only 2 less times than he struck out. The on base is almost at 400, and his average isn't even at 300. He's hitting for enough power. I mean, the slugging's at over 500, so the OPS is over 900. Very happy with how his season's going. I just wish he'd progress a little bit more. But he's really only here for one thing anyway, and that's to hit righties. So even if he never gets better in that regard, he's still going to be like an asset because of how good he already is at it. And then you got Moncada. We've said enough about how good of a year he's having out of the 9-hole. The contact's going up a ton. He's not hitting for a crazy amount of power, so the power is not going to go up much. But yeah, man, I mean, having a 343 average and a 418 on base out of the 9-hole, getting on base that often for the top of the order to come up and drive him in, you can't ask for anything better than that. And on top of that, he's 10 for 12 in stolen base opportunities. Pollock on the bench is still not having the best year. He's really the only guy who I would say is underperforming, but he's still hitting pretty well against lefties when you check and go a little bit more in depth in those stats. So he still is starting against lefties. So he's still providing some value to this team, even though he's not having the best season. You got Zach Collins, backup catcher, having another good year. Maybe not quite as good as the season before, but he's hitting for a little bit more power. The plate discipline is still ridiculous. He's got 13 walks and only 8 strikeouts. So I think, especially on the hitting side, this guy is ready by the time we have to move on from Grandal. I think he'll do fine as a starting catcher for us if he's going to put up numbers like that. Leury, too. Like, dude, who even is this guy? Because this is not Leury Garcia. You know how I know that? Because he's having a good season. He's batting .327, on base right around 400. A lot of doubles. I mean, he played in 136 games last season, hit 26 doubles. He's only played in 42 games this season, and he's hit 19. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's gotten into Leury this year, but like this is like the ideal bench player. If he can play anywhere and hit that well, then give anybody you want a rest day whenever they need it. And then you got Angle. You don't really expect him to hit too much, which is why, I said Pollock is the only one underperforming. Not like Angle's having a great year. He's actually probably having a down year from the year before, but, he's on the team for his speed and his fielding, and that's still there. So, over to pitching real quick. You got Lynn regressing across the board, but still pitching well, so, I'll probably be ready to move on from him too after this year when his contract runs out. But he's still contributing to this run. Then you got Giolito. He finally went up in overall a little bit, 87 overall now, and his numbers are coming down, so that's good. ERA now under 4. I'd still like to see more strikeouts from him. I feel like the amount of strikeouts he's getting is very unrealistic compared to what he should be getting based on like real life. Like, I don't know, man. You set ratings based on, I feel like they've said in the past, the last 3 seasons. And I mean, look at the strikeouts to inning ratio from all the last 3 seasons. And then you move to the first March to October season, and now he's striking out less guys than innings pitched. I don't know. I just feel like that's a problem with the game. Can't really complain as long as he's pitching well. Kopech, his numbers are, I mean, he's finally under a 6 ERA. So there you go. We just need his ERA to come down along with Dylan Cease, which I think Cease's is too, if I remember right. Severino, I think he's hit a little bit of a rough spot. His strikeout numbers are looking really good though. But yeah, his ERA, I think he was at like a 3 for most of the season. He's still 10-1, so he's still winning games he pitches in. And then you got Dylan Cease, and look at that, dude. That is beautiful to see. The ERA is under 5, let alone under 6. And yeah, he's finally going ahead and progressing across the board up to an 83 now. So we just need to keep seeing that happen. Lopez, he's the sole long reliever now. He's progressing. He's up to a 74. And his numbers are still good. So as long as he's going to pitch well, then I guess, you know, it's fine that we lost Luzardo. I think I'm going to put Christian Javier in the second long relief spot because he does have 46 stamina, and that should give him more innings pitched than if he just sits here. But we'll talk about Crochet next. He's not pitching as much as I would like him to. However, he is insanely good. I don't want to jinx anything, but just, you know, maybe look at the earned runs column. He's also not striking out as many guys as I would have hoped, you know, based on his attributes here, but he's still progressing across the board. 88 overall. He'll be our closer next year if I don't bring Hendricks back, which I probably won't. But then Graveman, he's doing nothing when it comes to his ratings, which is fine. Pitching well, it's all we can ask for. 2.05 ERA in 22 innings, 25 strikeouts. Aaron Bummer, I mean, we kind of saw his numbers. The game just doesn't like to use him, so I'm trying to use him. Still hasn't given up a run though in only 5 innings. Taylor Rogers, our main setup guy, which actually now I guess I'll move Johnny Lasagna there since we moved Javier there. But Taylor Rogers, he's regressing a bit. Not in terms of overall, but you know, a little bit. But he's doing great out of the pen. Again, not as many strikeouts as I'd like to see, but a 1.8 ERA in 20 innings. I mean, what more do you want out of a bullpen guy? Him and Kendall Graveman. Johnny Lasagna, I don't know how much he's pitched for us yet, but he's still having a good year. And then you got Liam Hendricks as the closer having just an amazing year. I mean, you can't really say anything else. Striking out a ton of guys, not walking anybody. 2.39 ERA, 22 saves. And like, for being 34, he's really not regressing much at all. But still, just with what we have and what we will have moving forward, I think I can make do without feeling the need to bring him back. So again, I'm just taking way too long doing this sort of thing. But, you know, it's the halfway point of the season. We all like to catch up on how the league is doing. So we'll do that even more here and look at the league leaders. So batting average, we got 2 guys in the top 5 here, right back to back, Moncada and Luis Robert. I know, because I've already seen it, that Mike Trout is having, you can't even call it a word, because there's no word to describe the kind of season he's having. 26 homers by the halfway point, 450 on base percentage, 753 slugging. He's got an OPS at 1200, man. What do you even do with this? How do you compete? I mean, I guess Jordan is doing what he can to compete, but he's still not even at the same level, and he doesn't field as well as Trout, so that's got to factor in somewhere. But he's still having a ridiculously good season himself. Trey Turner leading the league in doubles. He's got 30 of them. He's on pace to hit 60 doubles, and he's leading the whole league. You got Eloy in the top 5 when it comes to homers with 26, and nobody in the NL has that many, so he really is top 5. He's leading the league in RBIs, or RBI. Stolen bases, you got Turner, 2nd in the league, 3rd in the entire MLB. You got Luis Robert 5th when it comes to OPS, and I do know that one guy from the National League is also having an insane year, and that's Tatis. He's cooled down a bit. I do see the snowflake icon next to him, but when I checked last, he also had a 1200 OPS. So I guess he's not doing the best job of sustaining it like Trout is. But yeah, incredible year from him too. Pitching numbers here, Severino tied for 3rd in wins. We got him also tied for 2nd with losses. You got Shohei, who I also looked at, having another insane 2-way season. The pitching is, you know, whatever it's gonna be. I mean, I shouldn't even say that's whatever. That's a really good pitching year. But then hitting wise, like, he's got a 320 average now, 17 bombs. I don't know who can win MVP between him and Trout? You got Trout having like the best offensive season maybe ever from a player not injecting himself, so don't even bring up Barry Bonds. But then you got Shohei doing what he's doing on both sides of the ball. Like, he's not having the best season ever per se, well, not even close at like either spot, but he's having like a really good year at both spots. So what does that count for overall? Hendricks he's in the picture when it comes to saves. He's not super high up the list here. None of our guys are really that close when it comes to ERA. I mean, Lynn's, barely peeking on the list there. Strikeouts, Severino is somewhat close here, 127, only 5 off of the lead. And that's pretty much it. You got, Grandal and Luis Robert on the list, on the top 10 list when it comes to batting war, but no one's even close to Trout. So yeah, that's our little midway through the season overview that probably took longer than it needed to, but I don't know, I feel like that sort of stuff's fun. At least I have fun with it. I like looking at stats. I like immersing myself in the universe of the season we're in. So hopefully you guys do too. But it's time now to get into our next game here. It's another game where we have a 3-run lead, 2 outs in an inning with the bases loaded for the other team, but it's the 9th this time, so all we need is 1 out and the game's over. And I doubt it, but I wonder if this situation was manufactured to get Christian Javier pitching, and maybe we do still get a boost with him? No, he's not pitching, so whatever. That's just wrong. Even though this is going to be such a quick moment, I feel like in a game where you score 8 runs, you want to see what happened to get us there. Moncada and Turner with homers, a lot of multi-hit games across the board, it looks like. Angle going 1 for 3, but also with 2 walks. That's kind of cool to see. And then it was another Lance Lynn start, another time giving up 3 runs for him. Johnny Lasagna gave up 2 though. Don't like that from our new guy. Let's finish this. Ooh, okay. I don't really see Salvador Perez taking that pitch too often. But yeah, we'll get him on that one. Let's go off speed again, because he was early, the one fastball I threw. Slider away. Didn't really get away, but it got him. You gotta love those, man. You're just like put in the spot to win the game. You don't even have to try, really. We get another fireball for that one, so we're not gonna explode in terms of momentum here, but we'll just stay steady. And yeah, we were at neutral, so this is, maybe gonna give us 1 win, maybe 2. But maybe we'll finish the sweep. No, okay. How about the Red Sox? Can we sweep them? Yeah, we can, and we have another trade opportunity. First one is for Max Kepler. I don't need him. There's no point in doing that. The Yankees, they want to give us Rizzo for Sheets. Yeah, we'll definitely not do that trade then. What about the Reds? That's our catcher guy, but that's so much we'd have to give up. Oh no. Man, I was so excited when I saw his name pop up, because this is one of the catchers on my players to target list. This would be cool. This would be cool, especially, planning on doing this March to October long term and actually expecting to make it to the point where this guy would be MLB ready. But I don't think we can give up what they're asking here. I mean, if we were in rebuild mode, this would be a trade to jump all over, but we are nowhere near rebuild mode, so there's no reason to give up, a pretty valuable arm for this season. That's the one. Like, if it wasn't Johnny Lasagna in this trade, and it was another minor leaguer or somebody, I probably would still do it. So we're going to decline this trade, as much as it kind of sucks to not get that catcher that I found. But I don't know, maybe we'll get another chance. We got, like a month before the deadline? So we will be playing this game against Cleveland. It will be in the 7th inning. But you know what, honestly, and I feel kind of bad, because, we played an inning and a half, and then not even a half inning. But I just feel like I probably took longer than I even realized that I did for that whole mid-season overview thing, and I don't see how that can be cut down a whole lot. So this episode is probably long enough in terms of runtime. And a game in the 7th, that's a relatively long game, so I don't know, don't hate me, but we'll save it for the next episode. But for now, guys, make sure if you did enjoy this one, you leave a like for me on the video. It always helps. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. White Sox March to October is not going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah, that does it for me today. Thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you next time.